Everybody, and welcome to the Virtue Gaming live Twitch channel. We are here. It is playoff season. Runeterra Academy senior class Virtue Gaming Ambition is going to be taking on their quarterfinals opponent. Return to the Middlesticks here in a best of 5 series. I am Moose, and I am joined by the one and the only Tiger. Tiger, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, and I'm excited to see some playoff action in Runeterra Academy. We got the 2 seed from Division 1, I believe, in Return of the Middlesticks, and the 3 seed from Division 2 in Virtue Gaming Ambition, and hopefully we'll see some fireworks today. It's a best of 5, as are all of the playoff series in Runeterra Academy Senior Division, and we're getting right into the draft. So let's take a look. Some Ari priority coming through, a Bard ban from Return of the Middlesticks, paying some respect there. And what else will we expect to see in the early phases of this draft?
Oh yeah, like you said, Ari is going to be locked in pretty immediately for Return to the Middlesticks. That is a big part of, I think, Return to the Middlesticks strategy moving into this quarterfinals matchup. Looking at the previous games that Virtue Gaming Ambition has played, they're coming into this one a little bit under a 50% win rate. I believe that what they ended up being 4-5 in the regular season. Pardon me, 5-6. So, they didn't have the highest win rate, but in the games that they ended up losing, I think that it definitely was an issue with Champagne fan in the mid lane being a little bit overextended. So picking a really strong mid laner for the side of Return of the Middlesticks, Yuna, is going to be pretty effective. We'll see how well that's going to be played out. Champagne fan is going to be going with a mainstay of themselves, going in with the Vex. Zeri locked in for Virtue Gaming Ambition, and in response to that, Return of the Middlesticks is going to be locking in that Nautilus.
Yeah, Zeri's always an interesting champ to see in the early phases of the draft, because then you want to base a lot of the draft around what Zeri brings. A lot of mobility going on, and Zeri in a team fight does a ton of damage. So it's very important to find ways to lock down. I think the Nautilus is a solid response. Xayah is an interesting pick to pair with the Nautilus. I feel like a lot of what Nautilus brings, if you got the Xayah, you might be able to do the same sort of stuff with Rakan. I mean, always it's a possibility that just experience on the champion is something that comes into play. So Nautilus could just be a champion that Akkad is more comfortable on for Return of the Middlesticks. But I think that still solid engage there. Xayah is good at getting out of sticky situations, so maybe it helps prevent Vex from getting a reset. So that's always something to look out for. They just keep adding more and more reset champions to the game. So it's almost like you have like 30 or 40 champions where the first kill happens in the fight, and then all of a sudden things start happening. But what do you think that we will be looking for in the second phase?
I think, you're talking about the engage that Return of the Middlesticks has. They do have now a couple of initiation tools that are available to them. Ari, if lands a charm onto a high profile target, that's going to be pretty amazing for Return of the Middlesticks, along with Nautilus being able to get that point and click depth charge. I think definitely going to have to pay attention to where and when we get to see that used as we move into the team fight phase. Loki Dosi has been pretty phenomenal, I would say, during the regular split, and I think that is really being tailored towards that. Virtue Gaming Ambition, though, without a jungler in the first round of drafts, going to be picked a little bit here up against Captor. Captor is not going to have the Xin Zhao, another really strong early game jungler that I expect Return of the Middlesticks to ban right here would be that J4, something that Capture has played a lot in the regular season, something that he has played exceptionally well with, and there it is. That ban is going to be coming through. Poppy and the Trendemir are going to get taken away from Return of the Middlesticks against Virtue Gaming Ambition. So worried about the split pushing power, worried about the engage that Poppy could potentially bring to the table. So we're looking for top laners, we're looking for junglers for both of these squads, and number 2 Ginger. I think that number 2 Ginger is going to be playing this Graves here in the top lane.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about the grave. Wait, Graves top could be flex between jungle and top. I had in my mind going into the second phase of draft. All right, so you got an opportunity now for Virtue Gaming Ambition. You can pick up jungler. Junglers, you don't have to worry about counter matchups as badly. So you can just pick up whatever fits your team comp, and then counter picking top is something that I always look towards. But maybe if it is the Graves top, then that's a little bit of a different look and allows a counter pick going over to Return of the Middlesticks, which I wouldn't particularly prefer. But I think that having that flex towards jungle makes it more difficult to just go blindly with something that's a Graves counter. I'd like to see like a Malphite, but Gragas, similar sort of tone there. Gragas could fight Graves pretty decently in lane. Just having that tankiness always helpful. But now we look at the possibility of Volibear going to be locked in. So Volibear Graves, you got any insights into if it's going to be the Graves top, like you said, or and Volibear jungle?
Uh, I think that it can still go either way. Volibear, one of those early powerhouse junglers with the J4 and the Zinjao getting taken out of the picture for capture. Maybe going for the Volibear is going to be the obvious choice with the pool that is still available. Not going to be able to go for the Poppy. Doesn't have the Hecarim as well, but he doesn't. I don't really think I've seen him play a lot of Hecarim. I've seen him, maybe pick up the Lilia a little bit, which isn't more of an early game option. But the Volibear is definitely a choice, and you are keeping Return of the Middlesticks on their toes for where the top lane and the mid lane are going to go, because we still could potentially see Capture go for the Graves, and it could be a number 2 Ginger pick up in the top lane. But I mean, looking at what number 2 Ginger has been able to bring to this squad, Virtual Gaming Ambition has really performed well when number 2 Ginger has been able to get those really strong hyper carry champions like the Graves, like the Jace. I haven't seen him play the Jace, but kind of like those champions that could be available to him. But with that being said, there are still options for both of these teams to go either way with those champions, but everything else seems to be relatively consistent. We've got the Karma, Zeri bot lane for Virtue Gaming Ambition. You've got Vex in the mid lane, Return of the Middlesticks, Ari mid lane, Nautilus, Zaya, Viego in the jungle, and then Gragas in the top lane. I look at the team comp here for Return of the Middlesticks. You have a ton of initiation and counter initiation that can be available to them, and also the safety of the Zaya with that Featherstorm to be able to get out of sticky situations. That is a direct counter to Vex and that Shadow Surge. The moment that you get hit by that Shadow Surge, the moment that you see them dashing forward, go for that Featherstorm and you make the Vex obsolete. So really paying attention to when and where that Featherstorm gets used for Return of the Middlesticks, if they're able to use it effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that on the other side, you're looking at. I had a concern going into R5 with VGA's comp that they don't have a whole lot of engage. Like, Vex has the ability to go in with ult and find a fear. But beyond that, they're basically relying on that to connect. And that can just be flashed or dodged away from. Volibear adds a level of engage beyond that, where you can just run up and stun someone. But I'm still a little concerned that they won't have enough engage to make a team fights work out. But that said, if Return of the Middlesticks let the Zeri get ahead, I think that Virtue Gaming Ambition is going to be in a great spot here, and we will be seeing a lot of electricity all over the place. So definitely going to be a heavily execution-based matchup here. But if we get into the late game, I think that the Nautilus and Gragas might be a little bit too much. They might be able to set up just one kill, and then Viego and Ari both are those reset style champions where if you get one kill, you're bound to get a few. So we'll see if that ends up happening.
Exactly. You said execution and you said electricity. I think about that. You kind of meld it together and it's electrocution or whatever zombified conjunction of those two words would be. But it's being able to get the Zeri and to be able to get the Graves off on the right foot. It is number 2 Ginger playing as the Grave top against the Gragas, which I think really shows the drafting prowess here of Return of the Middlesticks, recognizing that the Graves could potentially still go top lane or jungle. Picking up the Gragas is a very stable option that is going to be fine up against most matchups, Graves as well. But the longer that the game goes on, the more powerful that the Graves becomes. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's up to Captor here on this Volibear now with the early game power that this jungler provides to be able to make sure that he can start snowballing these lanes. Whether it be number 2 Ginger on this Graves, whether it be Loki Dosi and Hawkster in the bottom lane with the Zeri Karma, he has a lot of options to be able to lock down champions and to be able to get those kills. And if they're able to get those kills, Virtue Gaming Ambition has a really good chance of being able to get game 1 in the bag. The only concern is, if the early game doesn't go into VGA's favor, I think Return of the Middlesticks outscales them. They just have too much health, too much damage, and it's going to be really difficult for them to be able to get themselves into a win condition if they don't get on the right foot early on in this game.
Well, I'm not sure if they're going to be swapping characters after all the lock-ins go through, but right now we're seeing a few different spicy things in the client draft. First of all, the Viego got locked in by Schneider in the top lane spot, and the Gragas got locked in by Lexus as the jungle spot.
Nice.
And if that holds, then we're getting lane Viego, which I'm not personally big on lane Viego, but it's been decent in the past, and it still has the potential to pop off. And the other interesting thing on the lock-ins is the Karma got locked in by Chapanya fan in the mid lane, and Vex is in Hawkster's support slot right now. So I think that's technically a possible thing. Now we're seeing some swaps come through, so yeah. I'll hold out on this until we get all the way through to the end of the lock-in phase. But definitely some flex picks being shown their flexibility here right now.
Yeah, I mean, kind of playing around with it, trying to see where and when these champions are going to be able to come through, because it could still potentially be the Volibear going into the top lane. Number 2 Ginger could pilot that, and I think he would pilot it very well, but I'm still going to hold my guns. I think number 2 Ginger is going to be playing as that Graves unless we get another very quick swap here before the spectator delay. The answer is no, and it is going to be number 2 Ginger playing as the Graves. So no spice, unfortunately. No real spicy pickups here. They're just kind of jerking our chain a little bit as we get into the draft, which understandably so. It's a playoff round. It's very important for both these teams to be able to get off on the right foot in game 1, because it's not a best of 3 series anymore. It is a best of 5 series. Being able to have that game advantage gives you the chance to dictate where the rest of the series goes, and game 1 definitely is able to get yourself on the right foot. A lot of teams, though, when it is game 1 in a best of 5 series, it's a chance for them to see, who's really having a good day, who's maybe not having the best day available to them. And it gives them a chance to, scout the waters, as it were, see who's going to be the real focus when it comes to banning out later in the series, and make sure that you get those right bans in the draft in games 2, 3, 4, and 5, if it does eventually go to that. But yeah, very exciting game ahead of us. Got a little bit of time before the spectator delay kicks in. Any final thoughts before we get started here, Tiger?
There's a lot of big team fight ults here, so I'm excited to see some team fights, hopefully in this first match of the series.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick break before we jump into it. We got about 90 seconds or so before the spectator delay is complete. So go get those drinks, go get those snacks. It's going to be a banger of a series. We've got Ruterra Academy senior year coverage of this quarterfinals match of Virtue Gaming Ambition versus Return of the Middlesticks. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. After a quick break, we have now begun our coverage. Game 1 of our quarterfinal matchup here in Runeterra Academy Senior Class. We've got Virtue Gaming Ambition, your Virtue Gaming Ambition over on the red side, up against the return of the Middlesticks here, and a 5-point first initiating clear here coming in. This is Moose. We've also got Tiger here on the cast. Any expectations in the early game? What are we looking forward to as we get ourselves started here in the Rift?
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not seeing an invade with the Nautilus, but maybe the power is not strong enough on the rest of the champs to follow that up effectively. But whatever the case, going into the early game, I think that Graves versus Gragas should be a pretty passive matchup. I don't see them fighting to the death. I mean, there's some gank set up from Gragas, so maybe you get a gank coming out from Lexus towards the top side of the map. But other than that, just farming it up for a little while. The bot side, though, might be a little more spicy.
Hawkster going to get rooted. A lot of damage. That was a trade that Hawkster and Loxidosi decided to go for. They maybe wanted to try to make a play at the Tribe Rush, but instead it works out that Hawkster is the one that takes the worst end of that trade. Looking at Keystones, Glacial Augment getting picked up by a Cadix on the Nautilus. Arcane Comet is another pretty spicy pickup, I think, for Hawkster. Instead of going for maybe another utility-based one, going for a little bit more damage here in the laning phase. Anything else? Not really too major here. Companion Fan does have the teleport advantage against Yuna, which picked up the Ignite, so definitely pay attention to that. See if that gets used to maybe take a kill early on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the Ahri into Vex matchup, Ahri's got a little bit of better poke coming out with the Q, and then with the Electrocute plus a full rotation of spells, you can get like 60-70% health out. So I'll be looking towards the mid lane as potentially the top ganking target for the junglers this game. That was a short pause. I'm glad that we were right back onto the Rift. So I think that we should see probably full clears the first time through from the junglers. But once they get to level 5, 6, then I would hope to see some ganks coming out.
Right. I think, Lexus, 2004 Lexus GX470, that's going to be the first and only time that I'm going to say the full name of this Viego. He's just going to be Lexus for me for the remainder of the series. I like the name, though. I like the shout out to a fun car, maybe some sentimental value there. Regardless of that, we are seeing that, the early clear from Lexus is that full 5-man clear. We're now going to see the first gank of the game of the match quarterfinals. Capture going to be able to find the stun on to Yuna, as well as getting the flash out of that one. So pretty successful play there.
Yeah, makes sense, I suppose. We talked in the draft about how Volibear has some early power, trying to capitalize on that, trying to get the early advantage here. And focusing it towards the mid lane, so maybe re-gankable, but we might have a gank here in the bot lane as well. I think that it's not being set up quite fast enough, so we'll loop back around to that in a minute, potentially. Both junglers showing up. Scuttle Crab on the bot side was taken by Captor, but no one's gone towards the top side Scuttle Crab yet, so it's possible that a double crab can come through. But I think that it should be the case where getting the push in those solo lanes can help Return of the Middlesticks try to contest for that.
Exactly, and you're seeing that kind of like extra gank coming in from Lexus. Campania Fan did get a little bit of pressure there from Lexus, but it didn't result in any summoner spells getting used. Campania Fan is okay, but the early back from Captor does mean that he comes onto the Rift a little bit stronger, gets the boots and the Ruby Crystal. The longer back, eventually when it happens, never mind, hold that thought, Loxidoxi's going to be sent to the Shadow Realm as he gets hit by a beautiful dredge line. First blood over to Middlesticks.
Yeah, not playing quite respectfully enough. I mean, not even Flash forced to be burned from Akadex. you gotta play behind the minions if you're into Nautilus. Otherwise, you're at risk of always being flash hooked. But just walking up and throwing out the dredge line to get the first blood feels really nice for Akadex. I mean, maybe you would want to get it on Bark Go Duck instead and get the ADC ahead a little bit, but I think that just getting the first blood should feel really good for Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, and personally, like, it's not the worst thing to get first blood over to the Nautilus or over to any support. Yes, it's 400 gold, and yes, best scenario, you want to get that gold over to Barco Duck, over to the ADC, so that they're able to get their mythic item a little bit earlier. But the main focus of your support is you want to be able to get into that mythic item, whatever mythic item that may be, so that they can use that utility to be able to keep that support alive. So giving that first blood over to Akadex means that they're going to be able to get that mythic item a little bit earlier, means that the Nautilus is going to become even more online earlier, and it really didn't stop Barco Duck from being able to pick up a nice back. That's Tear of the Goddess, as well as the Serrated Dirk has been CSing quite nicely and going to be able to get some crucial scaling items so that we can get to that late game win condition for the Xayah. Didn't really make much of an effect in terms of that damage, but Hawkster now in trouble. Might have to burn Flash here. Captor's going to be in the area. Nice flow from Loxy Doxy, but the Dredge Line's going to land. A lot of damage on the Hawkster, going to be able to flash away. Now Captor's going to have to flash away as well. 2 flashes out of that play. Return to the Middlesticks controlling the early game.
Yeah, so the 3v3 advantage by the fact that Loki Dosi wasn't in very good position at the start of that fight. So Return of the Middlesticks is going to get the better of it. Infernal Drake is on the map now, so they could also try to go for something like that if they are aware that the resets have come through. But it looks like they're not going to prioritize that just yet. I also want to mention that seeing the Serrated Dirk come in has made me notice that it is the Summon Airy variety of Xayah, which means that we're getting a lethality build coming out, so that's already pretty spicy. I like this choice of itemization into the enemy team having 4 squishies. Even Volibear is not super tanky, he's more of a bruiser style champ. So I think that the lethality is going to go a long way here into killing the bottom side of the map.
And speaking of itemization, as we've only had that first blood. We're almost 8 minutes into the game. Both these teams are respecting each other, I think, quite effectively here. In round 1, not wanting to let any extra kills go over due to, misplays or anything like that. It does give us a chance to look at these items a little bit more. 2 Tear of the Goddess is picked up, as well as a Dark Seal. Schneider with 135 stacks on that Dark Seal already, as well as a Tear of the Goddess on Bark Go Duck. That means that Return of the Middlesticks, once we get to that mid-game power spike, win the Muramana and either the Sav's Embrace or the Fimbulwinter come online for Return of the Middlesticks, it gives them the chance to really take off. They get, that tier priority, the damage that they're able to come in with is we get a lot of damage onto Schneider. Number 2 Ginger looking to finish the job, and Schneider stays alive with less than 100 HP there. Very close kill there over on the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition.
Yeah, that was the perfectly placed cask from Schneider. And another thing that I noticed in the champ select screen was that Schneider has not actually played any games with Return of the Middlesticks this season, unless it's just a name swap that I was not made aware of. So a sub top laner coming in for this series is a very interesting pick. And we'll see if it ends up working out in favor of Return of the Middlesticks here. So far, a good play there to disengage the top lane, but still very close to dying early on.
Loxidosi is going to be the target. Depth charge getting used on a Hawkster. Lexus picks up a nice kill and now looking to make it a 2-for-0 trade. Hawkster is there and it's a double kill for Return of the Middlesticks, but now Capture looking to be able to get something. Barco Dark is the target and does pick up 1. Now for the second one, Akadex is in trouble and Capture's looking to be able to get the kill over to Companion Fan, which he does. Ends up being a 2-for-2 trade. Both bot lane members go down.
Yeah, so it's a party in the bot lane. This is what I feel like happens in solo queue all the time. You got a bunch of people getting kills in the bot lane, but it's just the ADC and support that always die. It's everyone else coming to farm the champions. So a couple good kills coming over to both sides. Lexus gonna feel good with the 2 kills on the Viego. But it's going to be one also going over to Chapanya fan, which should help in that mid lane matchup.
Yeah, but, I mean, pay attention now. Hawkster kind of unlocked here for a little while. Going to look to maybe find a play onto Schneider. Not going to be able to pick up the kill, but does deny a little bit of CS there, and it does posture and show that Return in the Middlesticks that the side of Virtual Gaming Ambition are looking to go for this Rift Herald, leaving Loxidosi all alone in the bottom lane. Yona is going to try to maybe find some damage on a Campania fan, but can't quite get the Orb of Deception, uses that Spirit Rush to be able to get away there. Loxidosi maybe up against Akadex, going into that 2v1, not going to be feeling good about that one. Barco Duck will be able to pick up 2 turret plates, maybe even a little bit more.
Yeah, and an invade for some deep vision as well from Akadex, and that means that there's going to be more information on the map for a little while. But that is in trade for the Rift Herald, so getting those 2 plates should make it the even gold. Or if they can get more than just 2 plates, then it could be a good position for Virtue Gaming Ambition. We'll see if you decide to put those plates into the mid lane, try to continue to snowball for Chapanya fan, or if they're going to just go somewhere else on the map with it and try to get another lane ahead. But right now, I feel like a pretty even state of the game, a little bit of a gold advantage going over right now to Return of the Middlesticks, but the Infernal Drake plus the Rift Herald going over should just about make up the difference, in my opinion.
And that's the power of the early game Volibear. Capture recognizing that he has control of the river, as Barco Duct is going to be targeted, going to get hit by the root. A lot of damage onto them, but actually is going to be able to have a nice trade against Loxidosi here. Capture is in the area along with Akadex, so this could potentially be a 3v3 in the bottom lane once again. The easiest lane, as you mentioned, the Rift Herald picked up by Capture. The easiest lane for it to be able to go into and to be able to get value out of it is going to be in the top lane, maybe getting gold into number 2 Ginger's hands, but being able to get that mid lane tower down would be pretty massive here. Instead, decision from Capture and the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition to go for the Rift Herald in the bottom lane. This is a very risky play. It's a 3v3, and they know that it's a 3v3 here. We'll see how much the Rift Herald is going to be able to get. Campania fan is on the way, but it is actually Lexus that's going to get there first. We get a nice play coming in. Go back over to the bottom side of the Rift. We got a lot of action going on there. Depth charge getting used. Hawkster using Flash, going to back off, and that Rift Herald didn't even get a headbutt here, Tiger. Not the best play, I think, coming in from Virtue Gaming Ambition. As we get the charm coming through. Not going to happen. Oh, maybe. Hold on. We got Yunya coming through. Orb Deception coming in. Going to be Yunya in a pretty rough spot. The dash coming in. Capture's going to try to get the stun, and does. Picks up his 2nd kill of the game.
Yeah, so a nice punish of the... Oh, we got Barco Duck just solo killing Hawkster as well. So a couple of good punishes coming through there. Hawkster overstaying near the tower. That lethality Zai is going to do a lot of damage with the Blade Collar. But then in the jungle, just a little bit too deep from Yuna means that kill goes back the other way. And as far as the Rift Herald goes, I'm going to have to assume that Captor thought that he had the sweeper and not the Rift Herald on the 4 key, because there's no way that anyone is ever going to try putting that Rift Herald there at that time. Like, they took it recently enough that it shouldn't have been running out of time, I don't believe. And then just making that call to place it in the tri-brush if you don't have it running out. I don't ever see that happening, especially from players of this caliber.
Yeah, it does look like that was a little bit of a misplay, and that is kind of a bad news bear situation. You were really trying to get that damage, as Schneider's looking to maybe pick up a kill here against number 2 Ginger. Has to pop the explosive cast to make sure that number 2 Ginger doesn't end up killing him. Very close, as the Immortal Shield Bow did come online pretty much immediately. Mythic item, no other items getting picked up here for the top lane of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Looking at some of the mythic items that are online right now, it is actually a mythic item advantage for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Turbo Chem Tank getting unlocked along with that Immortal Shield Bow. But I think very, very importantly is the power of this Eclipse on Barco Ducks. We do get another play here in the river. Depth Charge not available for Akadex. It does actually come online, so he's going to go in for the knockup on Hawkster. Hawkster getting hit by the Blade Storm, and that's going to be a lot of damage onto him, and now Capture's going to be in trouble. Doesn't quite yet have Stormbringer yet. Lexus going on a killing spree. 2-for-0 trade. Return to the Middlesticks.
Yeah, so another advantageous play for Return of the Middlesticks. They just get the numbers there at the right time. And those feathers are starting to do a ton of damage from Barco Duck. I mean, we already see the Eclipse and the items that build into the Muramana online. So that's going to be... And a 60 CS advantage in the bot lane. I'm just picking up on this now. It's 60 CS, it's turret down, it's 2-1 and 4, and gonna be flash forced out there from Schneider, actually. Maybe just playing it safe. But we'll see if any collapse is gonna happen on the top side as Chapanya fan is making the rotation.
Yeah, Capture is here. They would love to be able to get Barco Duck off of this. Number 2 Ginger is looking to drop everything there, and he is so low, but can't quite pick up the kill. Barco Duck surviving, but nice use of the Heartbreaker from Lexus, trying to be able to pick up a kill onto Campania Fan. Shadow Surge is online. Capture is now here in a 4v4. Number 2 Ginger does not have collateral damages, and now maybe in a bad spot. Mortar Shield Bow damage coming in. Campania Fan was able to land the Shadow Surge on Agadex, but doesn't quite have the fear just yet. Ends up backing off. Number 2 Ginger's soul being picked up by Lexus, looking to be able to go for more, but can't quite find anything else out of that one. Has a Heartbreaker once again and will be able to back away. Number 2 Ginger almost picking up that kill.
Yeah, but in the end, it's a 1-for-0 in favor of Return of the Middlesticks, and I think that we're starting to see some of the concerns that I had in the draft phase about the difficulty of executing the comp for Virtue Gaming Ambition, and if they give up a kill, then they just have to run away from the fight. And so far, Return of the Middlesticks playing out the comp pretty well. Got that advantage, starting to stack up. They've got 3,000 gold lead now. But particularly it is important when you've got those kills on the Xayah and the Viego.
And right now, 2-1 and 4 on Barco Duck, 3-0 and 2 on Lexus. You're feeling pretty good about your kill participation and where the gold is at. If we could take a look at the gold stats right now, see where it is actually distributed here. I would assume that Xayah is at around 8-9k, picking up that Manamune, or that Manamune right now. 297 stacks on that. We'll have the Muramana fairly quickly here. That's going to be fairly important, I would say, for the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Like I said earlier, once that Muramana comes online, once the power of the tiers unlock, it's going to be a run the rift opportunity for the side of Return of the Middlesticks for a little while. You're going to have to wait for Loxi Dosi, wait for number 2 Ginger and Campani fans to get to 3-4 items before they could really start to contest the power of these tier items. We'll have to see if they're able to make it to that point. So far, it's about a 3,000 gold lead in favor of Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, and Loki Dosi going to have that Trinity Force already. So I always am interested to see what itemization that we're going to get from a Zeri. Zeri's got a few different builds that have been powerful throughout the early stages of her existence as a League of Legends champion. So this game is probably going to be focused a lot on damage after this, I'd have to guess, because they really need to get some damage coming down right now. They're a little bit behind in the match, but I think once you start to get those items on Zeri, then the poke can start to add up. So I'll be looking to see what the next item actually is. I haven't put together in my brain yet what it might be. It could be something like the Runan's Hurricane, though, I suppose.
Yeah, plenty of different itemization available to them. I think Runan's Hurricane could be effective, but also, we could potentially see Rapid Fire if they want to be able to get that extra range, or, this could just be a normal dagger, and they could be going for that Titanic Hydra, which we have seen built up here from some other Zeri players in the LCS level, things like that. Pretty popular to be able to get that extra little bit of health, that a little extra, cleave damage that you get from it with your Q is definitely nice. Other parts of the Rift, other developments going on. Rift Herald does drop in the mid lane. They're able to pick up that tower here against Virtue Gaming Ambition. And with the tower going down, the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition having to take care of that, Return of the Middlesticks will also pick up their second dragon of the game, Hextech Soul. Hextech Rift is online here in game number 1. One of the biggest snowbally drakes on the Rift right now. The champions and the chances for it to be super effective are there for both teams, and it's currently a 2 dragon to 1 dragon play in favor of Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, Return of the Middlesticks in a very strong position right now. They're in the lead as far as gold goes and as far as team fight comp goes. So their carries are beginning to be online. I think that 2.5 items is definitely enough to call Xayah online. And once the Blade of the Ruin King is finished for Lexus, I would say that we will have both carries fully online for Return of the Middlesticks. But now they may be looking to find a pick in the top lane. They're playing very well macro-oriented as well.
Yeah, number 2 Ginger was the target, but there were enough Virtue Gaming Ambition members to dissuade from going in for that dredge line. Fan is going to find find Schneider in the bottom lane, maybe looking to just defend this tower from the Gragas. So there is a teleport advantage over on the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition, and now they're looking to be able to make a play. A lot of damage onto Barco Duck. He does have the Feather Storm, and it is going to be used. Teleport now coming in from Schneider to be able to get in some assistance, and now is here in a 4v4 situation. The body slam flat onto Hawkster is going to be able to pick up 1. It's going to be a whip on the explosive cast. Now Compani Fan is in the area, fighting the Shadow Surge on to Lexus. Does he decide to go in for the dash? The answer is no, using the Hexcade to try to be able to run away. Compani Fan is running for the hill, going to be able to find the flea. Oh no, Campania Fan all alone on the wrong side of the Rift, just looking to be able to survive. Has the fear once again. It is the Yordle chase of the century, looking to be able to get to that Hexcade, and will be able to get out of that one. Ends up being a 1-for-0 trade in favor of Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, I think that the fact that the escape is the best thing that you can hope for is a pretty bad sign for Virtue Gaming Ambition. In this game number 1, they're looking at a situation where they just kind of got a hit and run. And in that last fight, if you can remember all the way back to the beginning of it, it's kind of dragged on a little while, but Barco Duck kind of took the initial engage and was able to survive it with the Featherstorm Flash. So that is kind of the power of the Xayah right there. A little bit more difficult to pick off than some of the other potential AD carries. And then as soon as the squad gets there, I think that they actually ended up getting 2 kills in that fight, if I'm not mistaken. So a well-played fight once again by Return of the Middlesticks, and they continue to push their advantages out. 5,000 is the gold lead now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, this is the tale of 2 different bottom lanes here. Virtue Gaming Ambition 0-6. Loki Dosi and Hawkster not yet with a single kill on the board. Meanwhile, Barco Ducks and Akadex, they are 3-2, but they have 13 assists across the 2 of them. They have been very impactful, and they have continued to be able to be, very important in terms of being able to get the damage and the kills in. Got a 4-0-3 Viego. Lexus picks up that Blade of the Ruin King, and this mid game continues to be in favor of Return of the Middlesticks, but That time is running out. There is an expiration date on the effectiveness of these tier items. The snowball is there. You've got almost a 5,000 gold lead, but it's not quite out of Virtue Gaming Ambition's hands just yet. I think they can give up this dragon, and then afterwards, in the next 5 minutes, maybe go in for that fourth dragon, defend Soul Point. But for now, I think it is still Return of the Middlesticks running the show.
Yeah, absolutely. They have full control over the river. It looks like they want to push in even deeper and maybe look for a fight before the Drake even gets started up. So we'll see if they can find the right engage. They've got all the tools that they need to do it, but let's see if they can get it all set up.
They get a free tower out of the mix as well, and it is Virtue Gaming Ambition taking the priority to go on to the Dragon. Compani fan looking to be able to find a great Shadow Surge. We'll see if he's able to land it. Finds a Shadow Surge onto Lexus and gets a massive flee. A lot of damage, but the collateral damage doesn't quite land it. The depth charge is huge from Agadex, and that's 2 kills for Barco Duck. Looking for the double, trying to be able to go for the triple kill, and does pick up 3. Yona's going to be able to get that one, and that is massive here on the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Virtue Gaming Ambition is running for the hills.
Yeah, that was a pretty big blunder to just go straight onto the dragon from Virtue Gaming Ambition. I mean, I get wanting to try to take it down, and they were putting all of their damage into it, trying to burst it down before the rest of Return of the Middlesticks could show up. But basically, they were just asking to get flanked and engaged on. I mean, best case scenario, once the Return of the Middlesticks members show up there, is you leave and you've just leashed the dragon for them. But instead, just trying to commit for the dragon take meant that the engage came through. Good depth charge coming out from Akadex really set up the fight, and then Schneider just finishing off the engage, and the rest of the damage comes through from the back line. So now we've got 3 more kills in favor of Return of the Middlesticks. They've got the Baron. They're on Soul Point going into the next Drake 5 minutes from now. Well, more like 3.5 now that we've talked about it for a little bit. But now the situation gets that much harder to deal with for Virtue Gaming Ambition.
Yeah, 8,000 gold lead. When you look at the total gold on the Rift, you're at, 84K? So not quite disastrous just yet for capture, but I would say one more misplay, and that is going to probably be the game. Companion fan gaining Dove upon, gonna have to flash away, and now the fight going up to the top side of the Rift. Yona's gonna be able to get the slow one, and number 2 Ginger gets the true damage from the old Perception. The explosive cast doesn't quite get number 2 Ginger in a position to pick up a kill. Pops the nice shield from Immortal Shield Bow, and will be able to survive no kills on either side.
Yeah, so I think a little bit of interesting ult there from Schneider, going all in for that explosive cask. But I think that when you've got 8 stacks on the Darksteel, maybe he thought he could get the kill.
Oh no, that's capture falling. Nice dredge line from Agadex once again, landing a crucial play. That depth charge in the earlier fight was huge, and now once again looking to be able to find something. Hawkster is extremely low, playing with fire here as this Karma has the Oblivion Orb to maybe stop some healing, but the Baron is too powerful. Barco Duck is unstoppable, gonna get a double kill as he takes down Hawkster and Loxy Doxy. That dredge line doesn't land, but it is a ton of damage from Barco Duck. Number 2 Ginger is the next target. Akadex picks up that kill, and that is game number 1 going over to Return of the Middlesticks. Early on, they're looking to be able to go in for another kill. Can't quite get it on to Companion fan as he picks up 1 at the very end of that one. But at the end of the day, it is a 10,000 gold lead, a 12 kill advantage, and a big win here in game 1 for Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, that was just super clean from Return of the Middlesticks. I mean, there's not much to say other than once they got their advantage, they just couldn't be stopped. I mean, I still am a little critical of the draft from Virtue Gaming Ambition there. But at the end of the day, when you play out the draft so well on the side of Return of the Middlesticks, it would have been difficult to defeat that even with a well-drafted team comp. So going into game number 2, I'll be looking to see if Virtue Gaming Ambition is going to be able to find some more easy to work with wind conditions potentially, and get some advantages early on in their lanes.
And there's still hope for Virtue Gaming Ambition. This is just game one. I said it earlier that, this is a game where they try to figure out where and when the advantages over on Return of the Middlesticks are at. This is a team that Virtue Gaming Ambition did not play in the regular season. They were in Group 1. Virtue Gaming Ambition was in Group 2. It gives us the opportunity now to see, what the adaptation is for Virtue Gaming Ambition. There's a couple of silver linings here that we got to think about. Virtue Gaming Ambition on the red side, regular season, they played 5 games over on red side, only winning 1 of them, losing 4 of them. They have a much better win rate over on the blue side, which I do believe that they're going to have here in game number 2. It's still a best of 5 series. We're young in the series, still plenty of game left to play. So do not count out Virtue Gaming Ambition. We're going to take a quick break before we jump into game number 2. Definitely don't want to miss it. This is the quarterfinals of Runeterra Academy senior year, and we'll be right back, folks. Welcome back, everybody. We are live here, Virtue Gaming, and this is going to be the start of game number 2 between Virtue Gaming Ambition and Return of the Middlesticks. Return of the Middlesticks was able to take a pretty commanding game 1 victory against VJ, but now the sides are swapped. We've still got plenty of game left to play, and it's Virtue Gaming Ambition looking to be able to bounce back. This is Moose here, joined at the caster desk by a Tiger, and we're already getting into the bans.
Yeah, we already see the Viego being banned away by Virtue Gaming Ambition, and they are on the blue side, so they will have the ability to get any priority picks that they were looking for. Last game, first pick was Ari, so we'll see if it's going to be Ari picked up by Chapanya fan, who has played Ari already 4 times this split, so wouldn't be surprised to see Ari first picks coming out all around potentially for this series. Maybe it hits the ban table later on if it does get to that point where it's just a little bit too powerful of a pick. But I think that anytime that you're in a best of five, you look at adaptation throughout the series. So we do see the Ari ban on red side that is being given way for the Lilia. Although Hecarim is going to be insta-locked by Virtue Gaming Ambition, so maybe not going towards the Lilia that was left open with the ban that Ari is filling up after all.
Yeah, I think the Captor had a pretty solid game one here and is going to have the opportunity to really be able to capitalize upon it. A surprising ban that we didn't get to see in here was the Nautilus. Return to the Middlesticks is going to be able to use that once again, and an opportunity to see if there is, that continued power from Akadex on this Nautilus to be as proactive. The champion swap, Zeri, now going to be online for Bark Go Duck here in the bottom lane. And Virtue Gaming Ambition, seeing that they have the chance to be able to lock in their bottom lane as well, go for the Leona Ashe. A little bit of an interesting lineup here for Virtue Gaming Ambition.
Yeah, I'm just going through the last game in my mind. I'm not sure if I ever saw Zerial come through. So a little bit of a different situation now with Zeri being on Return of the Middlesticks side. And the Nautilus ban, maybe that works out well, but I feel like there's a lot of engage supports that have, similar ideas. The point and click ultimate from Nautilus is sort of unique, to be fair. But I feel like if you ban Nautilus, then it's just like Leona's the next one up. You go for Blitzcrank, you go for whatever leans towards the style that your team needs. So it's kind of hard to ban out engage supports in general. We are kind of blazing through the second round bans though, so let's take a look at the Karthus. Potentially Karthus jungle, could be Karthus mid as well. So what do you think about the Karthus pickup?
I like Return to the Middlesticks, a little bit of a different lineup here. I think you're farming really, really well for Lexus. Played a phenomenal Viego game in game one and now has the opportunity to go for another farming champion. If it is going to be in the jungle, expect to see that first strike. Expect to see the massive damage from the Requiem coming through the longer that the game goes on. And the more gold that you're able to get through first strike is definitely going to be something that we want to be paying attention to as the game goes on. Return to the Middlesticks with the R4 pick, picking up the Yone, a champion that was banned out very early on in the draft in game one, now going to be available here for Yona in game two. Trendemir once again going to get banned out along with the Yasuo. Schneider does get targeted a little bit. That Trendemir is one of the comfort picks that he has, and so not going to be wanting to have to deal with that. Number two Ginger says, no way, Jose. Campani fan says that, it wasn't the Vex that was the issue. You're going to be picking that up again, and we'll have the opportunity to use it here against the Yone, and Gnar going to be picked up. So a lot of frontline coming in from Virtue Gaming Ambition here in game two.
Yeah, rectifying the situation of not having any engage, other than the Vex and maybe a little bit of the Volibear. But this time they've got engage in spades. They've got Ashe with the arrow is going to be able to get engaged from just about anywhere on the map. And then you've got Leona, Hecarim, and Gnar. So they're going to have a ton of lockdown, even Vex. So all five members have good hard CC. And it's the Camille going to come into the Gnar. So we'll be looking and we'll see if it's going to be Schneider winning that matchup with the counter pick. But I think that this is a team comp that makes a lot of sense for Return of the Middlesticks, given how well they played out a similar style last game. But for Virtue Gaming Ambition, I would expect this game to look very different. I think that they've got a lot more team fight prowess amongst the team. If they get behind this game, I have a lot more confidence in their ability with this comp to come back into the game. So I'll be looking to see if they can get a little bit closer of a match here in game number two.
Exactly. I think, both these teams are looking to play a little bit more towards the mid game angle. Hecarim does have a lot of ganking potential once he hits level 3. The very early stages of Hecarim's jungle play is lackluster, for lack of a better word. It definitely doesn't really bring a lot to be desired, or it leaves a lot to be desired there. But as early as level 3 comes in, Hecarim does have the power to really be able to dictate the lanes with the power of his E, being able to charge in and get the damage, get the ganks that he wants. And he has a lot of follow-up CC, I think, in every single one of these lanes. He has the fear from all of Vex's abilities once the passive is up. He's got potential stuns from Gnar when he's in mega form, and slows and stuns and roots over in the bottom lane. So he has the opportunity to again be very impactful in the early game with his jungle pickup. So I want to see him be able to use that really, really effectively. Return to the Middlesticks, though, I think that, their win condition, they've got a couple of avenues that could potentially be in their favor. But I think the avenue that I think everyone really kind of pays attention to is the power of 3 items on their carries. Once you get to 3 items on Zeri, Karthus, Yone, I don't think that Virtue Gaming Ambition has the damage to be able to follow up with it. So it's going to have to be an early mid-game snowball from Virtue Gaming Ambition to deny Return to the Middlesticks the chance to ever get to a late-game opportunity.
Yeah, I think as well that it will be important to match up the split push versus the team fight. Return of the Middlesticks with Karthus having the global ultimate have a sort of advantage if you can get a skirmish on even terms where Karthus is somewhere else on the map. Karthus can just dodge back, press the R key, and then impact the outcome of a 1v1 or a 2v2 somewhere else on the map. But they are against a lot of potential dive as well with the Leona, Ashe, Vex, Gnar. The whole team, I can't keep saying all the champions. I'm looking at each of the champions. I'm like, yeah, Leona got dive, Ashe got dive, Vex got dive, Gnar. I just go down the list and everyone there. Hecarim's got dive too. I don't want to leave him out of the mix either. So everyone is going to be in a potential spot where if they can get into 5v4 in the mid lane, if we see the lane assignments that I'm expecting later on in the game, where it's just going to be Camille trying to split push, could even be a 1-3-1 with Yone trying to split push, but the pack that's in the 3 in the mid lane is going to have to do a very good job of disengaging and clearing waves and just staying alive so that they can allow the split pushers to push, which is not the easiest task against the comp that we see from Virtue Gaming Ambition.
I'm very excited to see how it does actually play out here. We're getting a very different composition in game number 2 for Virtue Gaming Ambition. They're on blue side, which is a far better side for them in the regular season. A ton of capture games played as the Hecarim. It's something that I think is very comfortable with. Has a lot of opportunity to, I think, pop off here. Champagne fan played, I think, really well up against the Ahri, up against the power of Yuna in game 1. Now going to have a really tough time, I would think. Here going up against the Yone, has to be able to make sure that Yone does not get kills very easily. Make sure that farm is low and really abuses Yone's ineffectiveness in the range versus melee composition. The fact to be able to deny dashes, the fact to be able to deny a little bit of CS in the early game is going to make a huge difference in making sure that Virtue Gaming Ambition is able to make this a 1-1 series. With that being said, we are about 2 minutes out on the spectator delay. Game number 2 between Virtue Gaming Ambition and Return of the Middlesticks. Your quarterfinals matchup in Runeterra Academy senior year is underway. It's going to be a fun one. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Game number 2 has now officially begun. We've got our Virtue Gaming Ambition squad over on the blue side of the rift. Red side going to be Return of the Middlesticks, currently up 1-0 in this series, and we're gonna have to see how well we're gonna see this Virtue Gaming Ambition bounce back here, Tiger.
Yeah, they're going to have to come out with a stronger performance here in game number 2. And I think that they've got a lot of potential here to do so. I think that having as much engage as they do makes it a lot easier to navigate the sort of game in general. That allows a lot more gank setup, so you can see some early action potentially coming through. Even some roams potentially. Vec's pretty good at the roaming game. But I think it's also going to be important to take note here that just as far as gathering resources go, I think that there was a significant advantage that we saw that last game from Return of the Middlesticks. So if they just get the natural advantages of CSing better, taking more jungle camps, getting turret plates, stuff like that, then it could still be a situation where a lead just develops out of simply playing out the mechanics of the early game better by Return of the Middlesticks. So we'll see if that ends up becoming a pattern, or if it's going to be a little bit more neutralized based on different side, different champions, maybe better comfort here for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition.
And here in game number 2, we're not going to be expecting not really any ganks from Lexus, and that does give a lot of confidence, I think, to Hawkster, to Loxidosi, to be playing much more aggressively. It's very difficult for Karthus to be able to get early damage, to be able to get early kills for his lanes, and so every single one of the lanes are at least going to be able to have that. But paying attention to the keystone here, Lexus not going for the first strike, instead making the decision to go for Dark Harvest, looking to get that extra damage in with the Dark Harvest stacks the longer this game goes on.
Yeah, I think that just means that you're trying to go for stuff.
That is first blood there. Campagna fan dropping everything in the kitchen sink. Yuna gonna fall. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Well, that's all right. I think that we needed to take a moment to recognize what was happening on the screen. The solo bolo for Champagne fan. And I think that the summoner spell diff is huge because Champagne fan lives that with like 1 HP. So Ignite certainly would have killed, but Yuna has the teleport this game. It's a reversal of what we had last game, where it was teleport from Champagne fan and Ignite from Yuna, which ended up working out favorably for Yuna throughout that game. But now potentially a gank coming out from the bot side of the map. Playing it just a little bit slowly, though, not going to try to feed any kills over just yet.
Yeah, important to see. Make sure that no kills actually go over. Barco Duck does end up scouting out the horsey in the river and decides that, maybe death is not on the agenda here. Nice poke out there, making sure that Captor can't actually go for it. Of course, since you are playing the Hecarim, no flash is available. Decides to go for the Ghost instead, being able to use that pretty much to good effect. But, First Blood going over to the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. 400 gold to Campagna fan is pretty big. Does pick up the Dark Seal here. And as we take a look at some of the first backs from our junglers, we're actually going to be seeing a blue build, sort of, coming in from Captor, as we get Lexus coming in, maybe looking to go for an early gank against number 2 Ginger. Number 2 Ginger does have Gnar form, going to be able to flash, gets the flash out of Snyder, and now Lexus is in trouble. That is the power of an early game Hecarim. No power on this Karthus. A double kill for Capture, trying to dodge the Skittles, and sure does. Great early game going in for Virtue Gaming Ambition.
Yeah, and Captor's in the right place at the right time, and that means 2 kills going over, where it might have just been a kill secured if Captor doesn't show up. But I think that that's a decent looking gank attempt. As far as Karthus goes, you're not going to get a whole lot better ganks than that. You just kind of run in, do some damage as best as you can, and then hope that the laner can finish off the kill. The timing wasn't bad either, although number 2 Ginger was able to get the Mega Gnar form, which kind of saved his bacon there. But on the back end of that fight, that means that we're looking at pretty big early advantage coming through. Japanyavan with the dive. No way, another solo kill. Absolutely insane Vex play from Japanyavan. This was what the reasoning behind keeping the Vex is around. And I think that a lot better execution in the early game means that Virtue Gaming Ambition has a very significant advantage early on.
Tight hold on the early game. That gives River control, I think, over to Capture as well. Being able to have the mid lane in their control means that the River is much safer for Capture to be able to move around and get those Scuttle Crabs. Gnar is going to be used onto Schneider as he uses the Hextech ultimatum, but now he is in trouble. Number 2 Ginger looking to be able to pick up the kill, leaps in and picks up another solo kill for Virtue Gaming Ambition, and they are not done yet. Lexus is now going to be in trouble, gonna get rooted, gonna get stunned. Capture's gonna go for a killing spree and does. Killing spree over on the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Now, question is, can they get out of it? Fate Sealed getting used, but it doesn't hit onto Capture, and that is an easy kill over on the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition.
This is an absolute reversal from what we saw in game number 1. Virtue Gaming Ambition is just playing the map so well. Capture is always in the right place this game. We see 6-0 so far. Japanyavan picking up as well 2 solo kills, as well as the solo kill in the top lane for number 2 Ginger. So it's just been a lot of things going right for Virtue Gaming.
Nicely done, being able to stop the depth charge or the dredge line from happening. Agadex is now in trouble, and the unstoppable onslaught coming in from Capture means that Loxy Doxy is going to be able to pick up their first kill of the game. Now a 7-0 kill advantage on the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition.
Yeah, just another good gank coming out. Capture is always on the warpath this game, and it makes a lot of sense if you're against a Karthus. Why just sit back when you could just be going for ganks left and right? You're always going to win just about every 2v2, 3v3 that you're involving both junglers in. So why not just go out, try to get some kills, get the early advantages, and it looks like we'll be seeing the Chem Tank build, so it's just going to be a tankier variety of Hecarim. But it's going to be kind of difficult to kill him if he is able to get the Mythic so early on in the game.
Oh, another nice stun into the Gnar onto Schneider. Hookshot's going to be used to be able to get out of the way of that one. But once again, dominating here in the early game for Virtue Gaming Ambition. The dredge line lands on a Hawkster, trying to go for a ambitious back. Will end up getting punished for it. Loxidosi is going to find a little bit of damage on Axidex and let Bark go duck. Maybe having to flash away here, does have the cleanse and the flash available. The only member of the Return of the Middlesticks squad that is yet to die. But again, early game is where Virtue Gaming Ambition is going to be shining here. Requiem is online for Lexus. He is level 6 now, but I don't think he can quite contest any of these plays just yet. So Capture going to be able to take another neutral objective. That's Rift Herald going over to Virtue Gaming Ambition.
Yeah, but it's a good point to say that Lexus has hit level 6 on the Karthus, because that's something that you have to keep in mind for the rest of the game anytime you go for solo kills. Japanyavan looking very strong in the early game, but if you go for that turret dive, again, you're going to just get hit with the Requiem, and that's going to be the death song for you. So maybe going to be forcing a little bit more safety and security out of the solo laners of Virtue Gaming Ambition going through the rest of the game. But they've already got their advantages, so they don't need to be looking to push them further just in the solo kill variety, when they can just try to get numbers advantages and use their lead to get more resources on the map.
To Ginger is just having a beautiful time, not in the CS department, but in just presence and being able to just continue to stop the power of Return of the Middlesticks and Schneider here in the top lane. This Camille not having a great time, really making sure that number 2 Ginger is having a phenomenal experience here, being able to pick up yet another back onto them. And now Capture in the top lane with the Demolish, going to be able to pick up one tower, and now looking to go in for the kill. The flash into the Gnar on to Lexus, who falls immediately. Number 2 Ginger is the target and will fall to the Requiem. Pardon me, Schneider's just going to pick up that kill, but Shadow Surge now coming in onto Yuna. Campagna fan with another solo kill against Yuna on this Yone. And now we get even more power coming in. Static Surge getting used on from Barco Duck. Can't quite pick up any kills onto Hawkster, who now has his Solar Eclipse. They're not going to be able to pick up any kills here, but they have definitely still commanded this game.
Yeah, but we're starting to see some pretty decent poke coming out from Barco Duck. Oh, Solar Flare.
All right, Solar Flare getting used. Hawkster is going to beat the target. A lot of damage. Shield getting used by Loxy Doxy. He does not have his channel like Crystallero, but Akidex is going to be the target, and they will find it. Loxy Doxy is trying to be able to slow down Barco Duck long enough to be able to pick up this kill, and ends up making it a 1-for-1 trade in that regard. A 2-for-1 special in favor of Virtue Gaming Ambition, and a double kill for Loxy Doxy.
Yeah, so the power of the bot lane still being shown through. I'm not sure that you want to trade the ADCs there at the end. I feel like 1-for-0 is better than 2-for-1. But 2-for-1 is still a good deal coming through. And Schneider just getting poked out here.
Nothing that he can do there.
Ran him down. This is the range versus melee matchup. Let's remind everyone, Schneider picked the Camille as the counter to Gnar here, and now it's number 2 Ginger absolutely smurfing this matchup, making it look like he is the one who had the counter pick with the Gnar.
I mean, that's just the power that number 2 Ginger is able to provide, and the smart plays as well. But hold that thought. Could potentially be seeing a play here in the jungle. Nope, it is just going to be the dragon, the Infernal Drake going over to the side of Return of the Middlesticks, and we are getting a Cloud Rift. Really, I think probably the best Drake that you can go for here, I would say, for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Solar Flare is going to land onto Yona as he tries to use Fate Seal, but the Zenith Blade comes in. A lot of damage onto Yona, but Hawkster trying to be able to find it. The Shadow Surge does not land. Capture's going to go on a rampage as they pick up their 4th kill of the game, and the 5th Dark Seal stack for Campagna fan here in this early game.
Yeah, Capture in the right place at the right time again, and it looks like another one.
Trying to be able to find it, trying to be able to avoid the onslaught of shadows as Hawkster executed in that play. No kill secure there. The turret taking that extra 300 gold away from Return of the Middlesticks, but Schneider now currently 1-4.
Yeah, so I think that this is going to be the situation where you can just continue to push towards these tier 2 towers in the top lane. Taking that tier 1 mid lane is the next objective I've got in mind.
Loxy Doxy going to be the target. Maybe a misflash there from Akidex as he wasn't able to get over the wall to land that depth charge. Requiem getting used. Loxy Doxy is now very low, but now he has the assistance of the Leona. Not going to go in for a kill, but is going to be able to pick up these minions here. Still about 30 CS behind Barco Duck. And with that being said, I have to laud Barco Duck here on both ADCs, has had a pretty substantial CS advantage against his lane opponent.
Yeah.
Yona, though, maybe in trouble. No, gonna be able to survive that one.
Yeah, an unfortunate timing actually on the Mega Gnar. I feel like the Mini Gnar actually picks up that kill. Rarity to see a situation like that, but as you say, Barco Duck just playing out the champions that he's placed on very well, just picking up the CS advantages. But this time around, Loxy Doxy is pretty fed with 3-1-0 on the Ashe. Still feeling pretty decent on the CS, not going to be quite like 10 per minute, but not in a slouch position either. Just about average for the game. So with those kills, it's going to be about even on the gold, I would expect, between the two of them. And with the rest of the map being in the state that it's at, it's still going to feel much better to be at Loxy Doxy.
Number 2 Ginger in a 2v1, gonna find the Gnar stun on the Lexus, and Lexus is going to fall, just trying to farm up. Number 2 Ginger is trying to run for the hills, and he does die, getting the kill over to Yona, which is probably, I think, preferred to keep him at least somewhat relevant. 1-4-0 now, comparatively to Campania Fan, who's 3-0-1.
Yeah,
It's still going to be used. Campania Fan gonna have to flash away. Uses the power of personal space to be able to stop the dash from going in any further, and is able to survive that one using the flash as the cost for overextending themselves.
Yeah, 15-3 looks just about like what the kill score was last game. Blue side looking like the strongest side in this matchup. But we'll see if it's going to be closed out quite as neatly by Virtue Gaming Ambition as it was last game by Return of the Middlesticks. But starting to take down the rest of the outer towers is the first place they gotta look. And now it looks like another Rift Herald going to be picked up. So now the objectives on the map going down in favor of Virtue Gaming Ambition really helps them accelerate their advantage. Out to 6,500 gold right now. It's just going to continue to go up.
And as we see that Rift Herald going in, you said it correctly, it's about almost a 7,000 gold advantage on the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Return of the Middlesticks is, I think, definitely feeling the burn in terms of going in for a Karthus jungle. It is notoriously bad in the early game. Doesn't have that gank potential that Capture comes in with, but the longer that the game goes on, the more powerful that the Karthus becomes, the more impactful that they're able to bring into it. And now let's see if this is a team fight that they can use. Hawkster's gonna try to flash away. Capture going to be able to try to get out of this one, but can't quite get out of the Hextech Ultimatum. That is a shutdown against Capture. Number 2 Ginger gonna try to flash forward, gonna go for the Gnar, and only gets Akadex out of that one. Shadow Surge is going to be landing. Campania Fan going into that play, and disaster strikes for Virtue Gaming Ambition as they they get initiated on in a fight that results in 4-0.
Yeah, so a good bite back coming from Return of the Middlesticks there. A really nice stopwatch there to prevent resets coming out from Campania Fan, used by Akadex. And the engage is solid. A little bit of an overextension of the fight as well by Virtue Gaming Ambition. You just gotta let the people get caught out if they get caught out. Sometimes they try to go in and play hero, but then they end up getting 4-0'd instead. So a good fight coming out from Return of the Middlesticks. Still doesn't get them all the way back, but 3,000 is a lot more manageable than 6.
Barco Duct, maybe a target here of some plays. Capture not going to be able to find it. A nice little wall glide from Barco Duct to be able to keep them alive. But like you stated, it is still an advantage for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. It's about 3K in the lead. Everyone on the side of Return of the Middlesticks, unfortunately, though, is going to be able to reset. And so, I mean, this is, now the concern is we got to see it immediately. Lexus able to get several Dark Harvest stacks in that play, is now 0-4-5, doesn't have any kills, but was able to pick up 4 assists in that game, and now has 4 stacks on that Dark Seal. This is, this is the potential for the turnaround for the side of Return of the Middlesticks, where they can start to really shine as we get into the mid to the late game.
Yeah, I was going to make a comment earlier about Lexus playing passive Karthus, but now with that fight, 0-4-5 is definitely a much more respectable KDA than it was. It was just 0-4 earlier, I believe. So now feeling a little bit better, and definitely with that fight, you see sort of the avenue back into this game for Return of the Middlesticks. They're going to be looking for some more picks. And hopefully there's some adaptation that comes through on the back end of that from Virtue Gaming Ambition. You got to realize if someone gets caught out, you actually can't just go fight your way out of the situation. You got to just let some people die and then not have everyone die.
Beginning getting caught out, Campania Fan is going to be the target here and will fall. Lexus will pick up that kill, their first of the game, and now it is a 3v3 as Loki Dosi comes through. Capture still has Onslaught of Shadows, but now it is a 4v4, and a fake sealed from Yona is going to be able to pick up his second kill of the game. Schneider's going to go in and looks to be able to pick up another one, and a shutdown. Lexus picks up 2 in that trade, and it's another 4-for-0.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here, but all of a sudden it's Return of the Middlesticks winning out on 2 team fights in a row to quite a significant degree. They're able to even back up the gold. They'll take the lead once they take the Baron down. And a couple of more towers are just standing gold as well. So Return of the Middlesticks has gone from being 6,000 down to they're going to be a couple thousand up at least. And now Barcode up looking for the engage.
And looking to be able to make something here. Can they do it? The answer is maybe, as Requiem gets used. Number 2, Ginger, almost falling there, but and unfortunately results in yet again another reset from Return of the Middlesticks. And you have to look back. Getting caught out there over near the Dragon Pit has now resulted in 2 8-for-0 exchanges in the past 4 minutes. And now the gold lead completely switched over to the side of Return of the Middlesticks as well. Riftail getting dropped in the mid lane, but now going up against Baroned Up minions. Might not even be able to get a headbutt here with Barcoducts coming in with that Titanic Hydra. They will be able to drop it, and now, like, we have to wonder, like, what is the win condition here for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition? They're going to be able to get the stun out on the Yona. Yona is going to be, I think, falling here, using Fate Sealed. I don't believe it. Yona's going to be able to run for the hill, not going to be able to survive the Shadow Surge. Company Fan gets the shutdown.
Yeah, but meanwhile, the turrets are falling top and mid, so how far does this push go? The resets need to come through quickly here if there's going to be any hope of defending the top side tier 2. It looks like that will just fall as well. So with Drake coming up in 30 seconds, maybe that gets prioritized by Virtue Gaming Ambition, but now they found themselves in quite a difficult spot. They're down 3,000, whereas they were up 3,000 before that last fight. Now they're looking for another pick, though.
Yeah, Akadex is going to be the target here. Onslaught of Shadows is available. Lexus is also in the area. Akadex looking to be able to run away. Can't quite hit the dredge line, so Akadex, I think, will be left to his own devices. Number 2, Ginger, able to get that shutdown gold. The Dragon is available, and it is Virtue Gaming Ambition looking to be able to claw their way back into this one. 45 seconds remaining on the Baron buff for the side of Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, so I think that pick is going to lend itself to give the second Drake of the game to Virtue Gaming Ambition. They'll even it back up, and the push is still going down, so Schneider might be able to take another inhib tower. We'll see if the 1v1 is good enough to defend.
Unfortunately, not quite yet. Schneider does have adaptive defenses to go in for the armor. Number 2, Ginger, is going to go Mega, trying to be able to avoid the Mega Gnar ult, but now Schneider is going to be trying targeted here. Does have the damage and just pops Number 2, Ginger. Now maybe going to be in trouble. We've got a lot of damage onto Barcoduck, and Barcoduck does fall. Companion Fan and Loki Dosi are now in trouble. A nice Fate Seal from Yona. Going to be able to pick up the kill onto Companion Fan, but will they be able to get out of it? Teleport is available now for Schneider as he tries to come back. Schneider's going to try to get the hook shot on Loki Dosi, and he sure does. It's now 3, 4 kills, 5 kills for the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Virtue Gaming Ambition getting aced, and that just might even be the game here.
Yep, the scaling has officially come through from Return of the Middlesticks, and this is not how I expected to see them win the game. I don't think that they're going to be able to end just yet, but they have found effective team fights just by being able to pick off someone who's marginally out of position, just a little bit away from the team, just a little bit too much to be able to be followed up on. So a lot of good picks coming through, and Return of the Middlesticks absolutely finding a way to turn this game around after a rough start. Like, This is just about as good of a start as you can hope for to a game if you're Virtue Gaming Ambition. But after this, they're going to have to figure out what it is that they need to change. Even if they win this game, they're going to have to figure out what needs to happen in the mid game for them not to catastrophically self-destruct like they have here.
Unfortunately, this is still a winnable game for Virtue Gaming Ambition. It still is. They need to find that effective team fight, get the Onslaught of Shadows, get the Shadow Surge to be able to get the just massive CC that they're able to provide, but they have fallen short in two very crucial team fights like about 5-6 minutes ago, and now it's resulted in the complete collapse of game number 2. Virtue Gaming Ambition now on the back foot for another 3.5 minutes before the inhibitors come back online. Two of them now down. There is no fear of a Cloud Soul within that time frame, but there is the potential fear of another Baron going over to the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Also, just even more objectives now available for the taking here, as they look to be able to pick up the last inner turret of the game. They will be able to come in for it, but now maybe an overextension from number 2 Ginger is going to result in maybe a play coming through. A nice Gnar ultimate, gonna be able to get a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough. The Fate Seal was beautiful once again for Yona. 2 kills over on the side of Yona. This Yone is unstoppable. A double kill for Barco Duct, and that is GGWP. After a dismal early game, the power of a late game card this comes online, and it is Return of the Middlesticks that takes game number 2.
Absolutely, and with that, they will be one match or one win away from winning the match. So everything from here on out, Virtue Gaming Ambition will be backed against the wall. Must-win situation 3 times in a row. We'll see if they can pull it off. And after a game like that, not only do you have to figure out how you can play differently in order to win, but you also have to keep yourself mentally engaged in the game. And it's hard to not get tilted after blowing a lead like that. So Virtue Gaming Ambition have a large mountain to climb if they want to get back into this series.
Large mountain to climb, but it is not over yet. Virtue Gaming Ambition now having one final opportunity to get it right and to potentially take this to a game 4 and then eventually, inevitably, maybe a game 5. But Return of the Middlesticks, even if Virtue Gaming Ambition wins this first game, will have map control for the remaining 2. So you are really put on the back foot here if you are Virtue Gaming Ambition. It's going to take a monumental effort in the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition from every member available if they want to reverse 3-2 this series. I hope that they're going to be able to make it happen. We're going to take a quick break before we jump into Game 2 draft, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Virtue Gaming Twitch channel. Here we are seeing if Virtue Gaming Ambition can eventually get themselves a 3-2 sweep against Return of the Middlesticks. Unfortunately, they have lost both games 1 and 2, and they are looking to make game 3 in their favor. I am Moose, and I'm joined here at the desk by a Tiger. Tiger, what's the expectation? What are we looking adaptation-wise from VGA as we move into game 3?
I wouldn't expect much different from draft because I think a lot of things went well in game number 2. They're in a position that they wanted to be in. They just ended up dropping a few places of the execution, getting caught out a little bit too much, and then investing resources in places where they came back to bite the team. But Virtue Gaming Ambition, we might just see an exact copy of Game 2 draft. They may just be running it straight back. We're already seeing the exact same first 5 picks. Karthus would be a match. I'm not sure that Return of the Middlesticks will want to go with the exact same draft, though, because they were pretty far behind in the early game. They might want to have a jungler with a little bit more potency for some ganks, and the Volibear would definitely fit that bill.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what the thought was. I mean, it looked like the same composition up until the Karthus was there. One of the main complaints from Return of the Middlesticks, I would say, was the power of the Karthus in the early game wasn't really impactful. Was 0-4-1 until Lexus was finally able to get a team fight that worked up into Middlesticks' favor. Had that not happened, the Karthus might have never gotten online to the point that they would have been able to pop off. So now you've got a very strong early game champion in the Volibear in Lex's hands, similar to what the Viego can do, but even better in the early game to be able to combat what Captor was able to do to him as a Hecarim in game 2. However, Virtue Gaming Ambition, they've decided to go for the Trendemir ban once again, the Yasuo ban once again, leaving Yone on the table. But Companion fans going to have to go for something different here in game 3, the Vex getting banned out.
Yeah, and I think that with the Vex and Ahri both banned, the mid lane's going to look a lot different than game 1 and game 2. LeBlanc would definitely keep it spicy, keep the possibility of some solo kills on the table. But I would be looking after some of the early game priority picks are banned away at something more like just scaling control mage, such as the Victor or Orianna as the sort of best possible pick. I would especially love an Orianna here for Virtue Gaming Ambition. Not sure that that's the route that they're going to take. But I think that just playing something like that, and there it is, Orianna, that would be a fantastic team fight pick. And really could help complete the sort of style that they're looking to play. Wouldn't mind a similar top side pick to before with the Gnar. Definitely was winning out the early matchup against Camille, but could be looking at a different response. I think Gnar's just a safe blind, though, so definitely like that as well. So we'll see if Return of the Middlesticks wants something different than the Camille this time around.
They're hovering the auction. I mean, auction is coming, and that would be definitely a very spicy top lane pickup here, and something that Schneider could potentially be able to poke out Gnar against, be able to use the range against him by making sure that that range is not going to happen. But with 5 seconds remaining, there's still a chance for a switch up here. Is it going to be the auction? It is going to be auction as your top lane pickup here for Return of the Middlesticks. They've got some frontline, they've got some initiation, and now they've got some execute and some revive. Return of the Middlesticks is looking to clear out and make it a clean sweep against Virtue Gaming Ambition. But will the adaptation from Virtue Gaming Ambition be enough? Will the Orianna be the key for Companion Fan and the rest of Ambition to be able to get themselves a Game 3 win?
I'm excited to see this top lane auction pick. I think that Schneider had a lot of difficulty in the late parts of trades early on in last game. Number 2, Ginger was doing a fantastic job just punishing the back end of trades with the range versus melee advantage. So Schneider would go in, get a huge chunk of health off of number 2 Ginger, but then try to walk back towards the wave and then just get auto attacked 5 times and lose out on the trade in the end. Akshan not going to have that problem. He's got the range equal, if not favorable, against Nar, and I think that having that matchup is going to feel very nice for Schneider, but it's going to be still a position where it's a gankable lane. So I think that both of the junglers might focus more towards the top side this game. Still, bot side is pretty volatile, but I think that we've been seeing that both of these bot laners prefer to just farm it up for a little while, especially what we saw in the early stages from Barco Duck. Just farming it up is definitely play style that will work. Maybe going to see another bot side gank from Captor to help out Loki Dosi. That definitely felt nice in the early game last time. But a lot of different options and hopefully a lot of more early game fighting, and maybe it'll be a little closer this time around.
I mean, we would love to see Virtue Gaming Ambition be able to actually execute upon the snowball that they were able to get in game 1. Game 2, you got to just let that go, not try to, reset your mental, make sure that you're not in a position that you're feeling like, hey, we could have won that game. Oh man, we're so bad or anything like that. No defeatism here. The chance for Virtue Gaming Ambition to still go for a 3-2 is online. I do like the adaptation from Return of the Middlesticks. I mean, I do have to admit it. It is going to be a much different game than we saw in game 2. Volibear, Auction, LeBlanc. You got the Volibear that has that early game power, and now you've got some late game assassination ability to be able to really make sure that some of the champions that really want to be able to stay alive to get into these fights, to be able to get in that advantage, are not going to be able to be as effective. If you look at Return to the Middlesticks' mid and top lane, Action and LeBlanc have a lot of ways to be able to get away from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, to get away from Gnar, to get away from Shockwave, to get away from Solar Flare, so that all of the CC tools that VJ has at their disposal aren't going to be as effective. So the adaptation from Return of the Middlesticks is there. Is it going to be enough for them to be able to have a strong early game? That is the main question as we move into game 3.
So after the first 2 games having mid lane matchups with Ignite versus Teleport, I'm wondering if we'll get both teleports this time, or if Yuna's going to take Ignite here. I think that picking the Ignite on the LeBlanc would be fine, but I don't think that Chapanya fan is going to give up easy early game kills. We saw in game number 1 that in the end, Yuna was able to make the Ahri look good, but Chapanya fan wasn't actually dying in lane or anything like that. So if I saw the mid laners go both towards teleport this game, I wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly. And with that being said, we are about 90 seconds-ish away from getting into game number 3. So grab those drinks, grab those snacks, and grab your hype, your hopium for number 2 Ginger, Captor, Companion Fan, Loki Dosi, and Hawkster as we move into game number 3 here. Quarterfinals matchup between Virtue Gaming Ambition and Return of the Middlesticks. This is Ruterra Academy Senior Year. We'll be right back.
So hold our heads up high and beat the drums to what we love. Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A soul ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last strike. Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A soul ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last
Welcome back, everybody. We are live for game number 3, and hopefully not the last of this best of 5 series. We've got to see if Virtue Gaming Ambition has what it takes to be able to win game number 3 and take us at least to a game 4. I mean, what's the expectation here in the early game, Tiger, for Virtue Gaming Ambition to get onto the right foot?
Well, I think that they'll be looking to do stuff pretty similarly to last game. I don't know that I expect any solo kills coming out from Chapanya fan, but I think that still going to be looking for ganks coming out from Captor, and perhaps going to be looking a lot more towards the top side matchup with number 2 Ginger and Schneider. On this auction, going to be looking a little bit different than the Nar versus Camille, but still going to have a lot of potential for all-ins, trying to go for solo kills and maybe looking for some jungle help towards the top side of the map. But on the other side, we are looking at a Volibear jungle, so definitely a lot more potential for ganks that way, more potential for early priority on objectives as well. So we'll see if that's going to influence the way that Return of the Middlesticks plays this game out.
So I mean, so I want to point something out here. This is the second game in a row that Akeda. I've recently been told from Sly that it's Akeda from the Nautilus, not Akedex or whatever we were talking about before. So you know, Sly, thank you for being there for us in terms of that. Number 2 Ginger is getting so much damage against him, though. But what I was trying to say is this is the second game in a row that Akeda has dropped that nice vision ward in that mid brush. They have priority on it, then goes back for the Oracle lens to be able to get that extra little bit of vision as well. So, appreciating the fact that they know that they are a little bit behind the 8 ball with the Zeri and the Nautilus in the early game. Number 2 Ginger's going to be in trouble. Has to flash away, less than 10 HP.
Yeah, an absolute sliver of health remaining for number 2 Ginger. Gonna have to recall and already burn the teleport. So that's going to be a very heavy gank potential. And also 0 CS so far for number 2 Ginger. So Schneider just playing this matchup extremely aggressively and getting some early advantage here in the top side. And if number 2 Ginger hasn't played this match a lot, it could be difficult.
All right, stun gonna land on the Barco Dart. Exhaust getting used on the Loki Dosi. And now Lexus is going to be the play. Teleport getting used from Company Fan. An early dive on the number 2 Ginger. First blood is going to land. Schneider is looking to be able to run away, but now Yona is here. Company Fan teleports in to try to keep him alive, but no kills over onto the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. That is pretty disastrous for Virtue Gaming Ambition, I will have to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult for number 2 Ginger to get back into lane. Still 0 CS after having a recall early and then dying and after TPing back to lane. So that's pretty punishing. Already first recall for Schneider has double longsword and another pot. So it's going to be difficult to get back in. Maybe just a lane swap coming out here, actually. Chapanya Fan staying in the top side for now. But number 2 Ginger just keeps getting picked on.
Oh no, he's gonna get stunned and he has no flash. Yona gonna be able to pick up a kill there. Oh no, number 2 Ginger. Hey, at least he's able to go back. He picks up a control ward. He's able to get a control ward.
Plus pot. Best back in the game. It's tough.
Considering that he's gone for 3 backs already, 2 of them kills, this is a rough one. I mean, there's no other way to there's no reason to sugarcoat it here. The fact that you've had 3 backs already has put you way behind in CS, way behind in control. We'll be able to go back to top lane, but now, you know, going up against Schneider, who still has the mobility of hookshot and the extra longswords on top of you, you're not in a winning game state for the remainder of the game as the Gnar. You're going to try to be able to drop the Mega Gnar ult as effectively as you can, but there's not really much that you can do here.
Yeah. Also notable is that the teleport was invested from Chapanya Fan towards the top side of the map just to try to help out against that dive, and didn't really get anything out of it other than just collecting the waves top side for a little bit. So,
Companion Fan picks up a nice shockwave to be able to get a kill there. Lexus trying to be able to maybe find something and does get a little bit of damage onto him. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, a nice route onto Akeda is going to be able to go in for the ignite. Loki Dosi is going to be able to pick up a kill. And just like that, it is back to just a 500 gold lead for Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, so the bottom side of the map picking up a couple of kills is a promising sign for Virtue Gaming Ambition here. Loki Dosi has been playing pretty aggressively and effectively on this Ashe, even since last game early on, playing it pretty well. Knows the amount of aggression that he's able to go for, but now they may be ganked.
Glenn's going to get used by Barco Duct. He is in trouble, but he is going to be able to dash away and actually looking to be able to make this happen, but no, not quite. Meanwhile, on the top side of the rift, number 2 Ginger finally able to get some revenge onto Snyder and actually taking a gold lead and kill lead for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. But will they be able to hold on to it? And Barco Duct is not out of this one, but Akeda and Lexus along with Yona are here to make this maybe a good play here for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Can they do it? The answer is no. Lexus uses the Stormbringer to shut off the turret. No kills going into Virtue Gaming Ambition, and it is back to business for Return of the Middlesticks.
Well, for all the kills that we didn't see in game number 1 and game number 2, this is a bloodbath of an early game. Going pretty even as well. Both sides getting stuff across the map from each other, just trying to find gold wherever gold may be found. Chapanya Fan already on this. Wait. I thought that was the proc of Mythic, the crown, but maybe not. I'm looking at the itemization and I don't see a crown in there. And it's a little early for that anyway, so I'm not sure what I saw.
You know what it was? You know what it is? It's the new skin. I think that is Orbiana. And it looks like the Crown of the Shattered Queen skill, but it's not. It's actually, you know, a hive. It's the honey hive, the hive cluster or whatever it is. Honeycomb.
All right.
Like, look up.
Well, I'm glad that we got that all sorted out. Happy bee noise to save the bees.
Yes, but save number 2 Ginger. Oh no, Comeuppance gonna get used. Schneider, easy execution there, and that is a massive wave that number 2 Ginger is going to miss. And the CS lead just continues to grow here for Schneider. He is up to 36 CS in advantage, and we'll pick up another turret plate as well. That's almost mythic item, I would say, for Schneider at this point.
Well, I guess that Gnar is not a safe blind pick after all. Good punish here from Schneider, just winning over and over again here in the lane. Even though he died once, still getting the best of number 2 Ginger here so far. And the first dragon probably going to go over now to Return of the Middlesticks, as Lexus has already begun it. The prio mid, prio bot.
A lot of damage on the Campania fan, full combo getting used by Yona, but there's really no way for Virtual Gaming Ambition to contest this one with Capture in the top lane, and really no denial of that. The root's going to land for Campania fan. The priority in the mid lane means that not early, but I'd say, you know, a pre-10 minute dragon going over to the side of Return of the Middlesticks, and now Lexus maybe looking to be able to find a kill against Campania fan. As we do get the clone getting used by Yuna, turret will take out the clone, but Stormbringer is available, as well as Chilling Smite for Lexus to be able to use that as potentially a turn off the lights for Campania fan and take that kill, but instead ends up being a back off.
Yeah, so both of these teams playing on a pretty even level so far. The advantages are slightly in favor of Return of the Middlesticks, mostly in the top lane with those couple of kills for Schneider and the massive CS advantage. But finally, number 2 Ginger able to claim some CS for himself. Schneider may be looking for a roam here, just going to be spotted out by a control ward though, so probably nothing doing there. Anyways, Trevania fan back in base, so not going to much matter. But now Rift Herald available, so we'll see if anyone wants to go take that. And on the topic of Rift Heralds, we've seen a little bit of trouble utilizing the Rift Herald from Virtue Gaming Ambition, so hopefully if they end up picking up one this game, they can actually get it to charge into the tower.
Right. In game 1, a little bit of a misplay, like you were talking about, you know, going in for the Tri-Brush, not expecting that you actually have the Rift Herald, ends up using it ineffectively there, causing you to get nothing, or causing VGA to get nothing out of it. Game 2, they had a little bit of a better situation with it. They had the power of the Hecarim along with the Gnar, along with the positive wave state for them against the Camille. But hold that thought, a lot of damage on a Campania fan. Depth charge going to get used on the Capture. Lexus is there, but it's not going to even matter. It's going to be another kill here for the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Yona is going to be able to pick up their third of the game.
Yeah, Yuna feeling pretty strong on this LeBlanc. The mid lane matchup looking a little bit different than games 1 and 2. We're just having Yuna play so aggressively and get such advantages.
Oh man, a lot of damage on a number 2 Ginger. Comeuppance could be used there, but Schneider instead just going to hold it off. Ginger not quite close enough to yet go to Mega to maybe even contest that one, so ends up resulting in just a lot of damage and a nice trade here for the top lane for Return of the Middlesticks. Speaking of objectives though, Rift Herald is going to be used, it looked like, in the bot lane. I'm not quite, or oh no, I'm sorry, Rift Herald not available yet. Is available but not captured yet. Pardon me, I'm losing it here already. We're not even 4 games in, and I'm already losing it here, game 3.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to find it, and for Virtue Gaming Ambition, they will be hoping to find something as well. Trevania fan, a pretty good trade here.
Yeah, nice trade as we get Enchanted Crystal getting used. Barco Duck's going to go for the Static Shirt as well as the Solar Flare. Akeda's going to use his Hourglass once again. Hogster picks up the kill, and now it's up to the rest of Return of the Middlesticks to be able to try to survive this one. A lot of slows, a lot of damage on to Barco Duck, and now Schneider looking to be able to pick up a kill. He can't. Number 2 Ginger able to bounce back and picks up the solo kill against him. Now Capture looking to be able to find something in up against Barco Duck, and they do. That is the first kill of this game here for Capture, as they are able to deny another kill for Barco Duck.
Yeah, a couple of good fights there. Number 2, Ginger with the good bait with the Mega Gnar, getting all that health back and able to scoop Schneider back and pick up the solo kill in the top lane. And then in the 3v3, I'm not sure that Return of the Middlesticks knew that they were going into a 3v3 because it looked like they felt confident that they could set the fight up. But it ends up getting turned on its head immediately when Captor shows up, and just well played all around by Virtue Gaming Ambition. They'll have to keep up this level of play though, because right now there's still a little bit of a gold deficit, and Return of the Middlesticks has shown that they will punish you if you make a mistake.
Exactly. Well, the gold lead doesn't necessarily represent the power that Return of the Middlesticks has. It is the auction, the late game power that Schneider's going to be able to bring to the table that is now potentially coming online. Kraken Slayer is available, as well as the Turbo Chemtake and Luden's Tempest coming online for the Volibear and the LeBlanc, respectively. This is a pretty risky fight, I would say, for Virtue Gaming Ambition if they wanted to go for the Dragon, but it is one that they could potentially go for. Schneider is roaming down. Number 2, Ginger just uses teleport, so there really is no way for them to go in for it. Enchanted Crystallero is going to get used onto Lexus. Lexus is fine. The anchor does not land on a Campania fan. The Dragon goes over to Return of the Middlesticks, and it is a Cloud Rift for the second game in a row.
Yeah, so without the teleport on number 2, Ginger, I agree with you. But I think that there's a lot of opportunity. Oh.
Well, Campania fan just gets collapsed upon, gets a nice 3-man shockwave, but it doesn't result in any extra follow-up there. That is a massive amount of damage onto the Lady of Clockwork, and ends up resulting in a pretty nice kill over to the side of Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, I was going to say that Virtue Gaming Ambition has the opportunity to make an engage out of what seems like nothing pretty quickly develop, and here we might have one of those. But they've got a lot of hard engage tools, so if they can just find an engage onto one member, then they can pretty quickly turn that into kills. And if they've got all 5 members there, they can get a pretty nasty AoE combo with the ultis. You got number 2 Ginger throwing people into a wall. You got the onslaught of shadows coming through, shockwaves coming through, solar flares coming through. Any order of combination of those events can cause a team fight to materialize pretty quickly out of not seemingly much. So Virtue Gaming Ambition has a lot of options towards that, and they may find Schneider here.
Yeah, Schneider overextended, ends up getting killed. Capture, second kill of the game. Campania fan now maybe in trouble. Ignite gonna get used. Nice shockwave. Yona won't be able to make that kill happen, so ends up resulting in some ultimates getting used, and the kill advantage now going over to the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Hawks are gonna take a couple of turret shots for going maybe a little bit around the river bend there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Captor going to be able to stop the Rift Herald from getting any damage onto the tower. So with that being said, it is only a 600 gold lead for the side of Return of the Middlesticks after a very, very rough early game. Virtue Gaming Ambition is continuing to claw their way back into it.
I'm beginning to think that the Rift Heralds have forgotten how to charge this series. Moose, I think we might have another gank coming through here in the bot lane.
Nice flash or dodge away from Barco Duck. Has to use the cleanse to get away from the solar flare. A big dash actually from Barco Duck. Able to get away from the enchanted crystal arrow means that he has the cleanse available for the side or for the solar flare. Meanwhile, on the top side of the rift, Schneider going to get a lot of damage against him, but Campania fans going to face check up rush. Oh no! Yuna's going to fall. It's Schneider that's going to fall. Number 2 Ginger is right back into this game now, 3-3-1.
Yeah, so I really am confused about what's happened in the top lane, because it seemed like Schneider was just so strong in the early levels, but as soon as number 2 Ginger got a little bit of help, the matchup just kind of flipped on its head. Schneider maybe just playing too aggressively. I'm not sure if it's a matchup thing or if it's just a little bit of misexecution, but all of a sudden, number 2 Ginger feels like he's got a lot of strength in this matchup. But on the other side, just a good death brush and a good pick onto Campagna Fan, and that means that we're back even on just about everything. I mean, the advantage still slightly favoring Return of the Middlesticks. I don't know if they can follow up on this.
Oh, Barco Duck has to flash away, but still gets hit by the Eyes of Volley. Zenith Blade coming through as well, and they're able to get the kill over to Loki Dosi. That is very good for Virtue Gaming Ambition. They bring it back to within 1,000, and with Drake spawning in 45 seconds, they will be able to get river control.
Yeah, this is by far the closest game that we've had this series, and it's been so back and forth. I can't really tell if it's like good vision plays or people making mistakes. I mean, probably some of both, but it's like both teams are playing a little bit too risky right now and just getting picked off. And they're just throwing it back and forth. It's a game of catch right now, but the 2 Drakes already in favor of Return of the Middlesticks are going to advantage them and give them more pressure on the map, as long as they can contain the gold to about even or keep a slight advantage in their favor.
That is a potential win condition for them. Cloud Soul giving the extra movement speed upon ultimate use, and the ability haste would be big for Barco Duck, would be big for Akeda. Number 2 Ginger is going to get a lot of damage on to Schneider, but now Comeuppance going to get used to be able to take that back. Campani Fan going to be dealt about half HP. Well, the side of VGA was able to take that Cloud Drag during the exchange. Was traded, though, for the mid lane tower, so it ends up being mid lane tower for Dragon. VGA able to stop the Dragon stacking.
Yeah, so that's a positive sign. Just to pick up 1 Drake here, that pushes it out another 10 minutes. Well, I mean, it pushes it 5 more minutes, but it means 10 more minutes before any sort of soul threat can come through. That gives some time for the Barons to be on the map and have the opportunity to give up a Drake if you need to, so that you can keep the Baron contest available and just allow for more time to get into this team fight comp. The Wombo combo needs to get set up. Loki Dosi in a good spot right now at 3-1 and 2, doing well over Barco Duck, who's farmed it out as always, but 0-3 this time on the Zeri doesn't feel quite so good.
Able to dash away from the Zenith Blade there. Barco Duck does not give over another kill. Had the cleanse available if need be. But with that being said, that siege resulting in all outer towers, all outer structures now off of the rift against VGA. There's still a mid lane tower and a top lane tower here for the side of Return of the Middlesticks. Top lane tower could be pretty effective in being able to deny deep vision for VGA if Return of the Middlesticks wants to maybe contest a Baron here. It is up, and it has been up for about a minute, and an opportunity for them to go for that. With that being said, though, Tiger, I mean, what is a Baron condition here? Do you think that Middlesticks just goes for a Baron dance, or are they looking to go for picks before they try to maybe go for a secured Baron?
Well, I don't think that either of these sides can just start Baron and turn. I think that the hard engage coming in is a little bit too much. You would have to get pretty deep vision control if you want to start it, and you would have to know that someone without teleports on the other side of the map. I mean, that's kind of the case right now with Yuna, but the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition needs to get some more deep wards to make sure that the Baron isn't known to Return of the Middlesticks if they want to start it. And right now, they're definitely not in a position where they could do that. And I think that it's going to require getting someone off the map. You need like a 5-on-3 to be certain that it's going to work out well for you. And when your back's against the wall like this, you don't really want to risk anything that can turn the game into an unwinnable situation for you. So I wouldn't expect Virtue Gaming Ambition to go towards the Baron unless they get a team fight victory. But Return of the Middlesticks, I don't think that they have the ability to go towards it very quickly either. Right now, they don't have much control over the topside river, so they would need to do a lot of work before that can be set up as well. Drake coming up in a minute 45 means that I'm guessing that's the next objective that will be fought over here.
With that dragon, like you said, with that dragon spawning, a minute 30 until it comes up, Baron is available. Side of Return of the Middlestick just continuing to take away as many resources as they can. They have had control of the bottom side of the rift here for a little while. They've been able to take buffs. They've been able to take just damage. And now they're looking to take number 2 Ginger's life. He's going to try to hop away. He's going to try to maybe get the kill onto Yuna, flashing in for the stun. Can't quite get the kill. Number 2 Ginger is going to fall. And it's Alexis that picks up the kill now, 2-0 and 5. Meanwhile, because they see multiple members of Return of the Middlesticks tops or bot side, they are immediately going on to Baron for a response. Schneider's going to make their presence known, going to be able to dodge the shockwave, dodges the solar flare, but can't quite get away from the onslaught of shadows and will sacrifice their life to be able to stop the Baron take. Meanwhile, mid lane, it's going to be one tower getting taken for Return of the Middlesticks, and now maybe looking to get some damage onto the second one. They are getting a lot of damage onto it. They're looking to siege through to the mid lane. They get the inhibitor tower to go down, and they are looking to walk away with no ultimates up for Virtue Gaming Ambition. They have to let Return of the Middlesticks walk away.
Yeah, this is really well played macro-wise from Return of the Middlesticks. I mean, as long as they can get out here, at least that is.
Oh, Stormbreaker going to get used. The dredge line does not land, but it is going to be Hawkster that does get targeted, gets rooted. Company fan going to get hit by the depth charge, but it's not quite going to be any follow-up damage there. Barco Duck is coming through. Number 2 Ginger also teleporting in from the flank. Low health bars for the side of Return of the Middlesticks, but it's Schneider that teleports into the back line and can't find the kill on a Company fan. Uses the comeuppance to make it happen. It's a double kill for Schneider. Still alive, but it's Capture that ends up making the kill there. It's Akuda going to try to make a kill, but can't. He falls. Capture on a killing spree. Loki Dosi on a killing spree, but it's a shutdown against Loki Dosi. The charge slowing Capture. Can he get away? Barco Duck is so fast. No, he can't. It's a shutdown, and Barco Duck gets the pseudo ace.
I think Captor could have gotten away there, but turns back around. I think it's a strange choice to do so. But whatever the case, a good fight coming out on the late end of the trade there. So going back to the initial play, right, we had a collapse on the bot side by Return of the Middlesticks. They pick off number 2 Ginger. Then the Baron gets started by Virtue Gaming Ambition. And then Schneider comes in to disrupt it, gets killed on the way out, but actually does stop the Baron take from going through. And then the mid lane tier 2 and tier 3 get taken by Return of the Middlesticks. So after that, it's a 1-for-1 plus 2 towers in favor of Return of the Middlesticks. They've already done pretty well in that sort of trade. And as they are running away, it's just the decision comes through from Virtue Gaming Ambition that they want to engage back on that fight. And it was pretty close. I mean, Loki Dosi at the end of the fight was doing a lot of damage, had some low health bars to work with, almost came up with a few more kills. But in the end, it goes in favor of Return of the Middlesticks.
Akuda's going to be able to use the dredge line to get back away. Lexus is at full HP. Akuda's going to be the target. Onslaught of Shadows is going to be used. Akuda is still alive. Stormbringer getting used by Lexus to dissuade any further aggression. So a ton of ultimates getting used, but no one falling.
Yeah, that's pretty good for Virtue Gaming Ambition. They're able to pretty much win the 4v5. I mean, no kills come through, but their health bars are better on the back end of the fight. They do retreat into their own jungle, though, which means that they're giving up some vision control.
Now let's see if they're going to be able to find any other objective control here. Getting some vision on the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. They don't quite have vision control of the Baron, but they have river control for the time being. Stormbringer not up for Lexa. Solar Flare and Enchanted Crystal Arrow are up in about 30 for Hawkster and Loki Dosi. Shockwave isn't available. Number 2 Ginger is going to initiate Gnar on to Barco Duck, and that is big for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Lexus is the next target. No way to get out of that one. Gonna get shut down. 2 kills over on the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow does not land. They are low-ish, but they were able to take 2.
I hope that they don't try to Baron off of this. I don't think that this is the right call. They're just going to get blown up by Yuna if they do. Yuna's still fed 4-1 and 6 on the LeBlanc. The right call here to back it off. Just take the 2 kills, take the lead, and set up some vision control if you can, but you don't want to throw back after winning a fight 2-0. So with the resets coming through, that means that they will hopefully be setting themselves up to fight for this next Cloud Drake in 2 minutes. It's Soul if it's taken by Return of the Middlesticks. So Virtue Gaming Ambition is going to need to come up with a victory in this next team fight, or at least get a steal from Capture, worst case scenario. Otherwise, you're giving up Cloud Soul. Cloud Soul doesn't exactly mean an insta-win, but it's really nice to have, especially on a champ like LeBlanc, where you're going to be using your ultimate a lot, and it will just take Zeri from being fast in ultimate to being extremely fast in ultimate, which is a bit of a harrowing thought.
Exactly, you know, being able to get out of Shockwave away from Solar Flare is pretty impactful. They still have the ball delivery system from Kapoor for Champagne Fan to be able to get the ball over to them to use the Onslaught of Shadows into the Shockwave to potentially be that win condition. But, you know, another great initiation there from number 2 Ginger, being able to get that Mega Gnar ultimate on to Barco Duck. That is exactly what they have to do. They need to get one of the carries out. At this point, Schneider, yes, 4-6-1, not the win condition. It's the 3-item Zeri, the Black Cleaver Runan's Trinity Force Zeri that is going to shred through the front line of VGA. That has to be the main target here.
Yeah, so we got 45 seconds. The vision is going to be fought over a little bit here. And we might get a fight before the Drake even spawns, but you got to be careful with that. All ults available except for Shockwave. You kind of need that Shockwave to be able to fight effectively, so it should be good setup here from Return of the Middlesticks.
Barco Duck going to get a little bit of poke damage on a number 2 Ginger, and very importantly, that Mega Gnar was popped. So they won't have that available if initiation onto the dragon starts immediately. 14 seconds remaining, and that is a big ultimate that is not available for the side of Virtue Gaming Ambition. Shockwave is back online, but Mega Gnar is not. The fact that they don't have that displacement tool, that damage is there, but the Shockwave is going to be up. Yona's going to be in trouble. Yona trying to go in for a kill, ends up falling, but Companion Fan's going to fall as well. Mid for mid is the target. Solar Flare is going to whip neck thanks to a nice flash from Akuda. Stormbringer getting used by Lexus. Akuda's going to be the target. They will be able to pick it up. Number 2 Ginger picking up that kill. Capture very low. Going to be able to run away. Loki Dosi able to trade out their life, but Hawkster's going to fall as well. It's number 2 Ginger and Capture up against Bark Go Duck. Can they pick it up? The answer is no. Number 2 Ginger can't get the stun. Bark Go Duck gets a double kill. It's a 3-for-5 trade in favor of Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, that's going to probably cost an inhib here as well as the soul. Return of the Middlesticks able to play that out well. I was watching both of the AD carries in that fight, and that was a treat to watch. It was just great kiting on both sides. Loki Dosi played that out about as good as you could hope to, but eventually was able to be finished off. And once that happened, the damage was a little bit out of the team comp for Virtue Gaming Ambition. They were looking at a situation where so much of the damage has been out of this Ashe, other than the initial engage, that low health bars don't really mean anything after the burst comes out from Hecarim, after the burst comes out from Orianna, and once you get into the 2v2, it just becomes a much more favorable for Barco Ducko with the Zeri still flying around on the ultimate and able to clean up the fight. The inhib actually did stay up, and Baron's still alive. So I think that this is a situation where we might start to see some desperation coming out from Virtue Gaming Ambition, but we'll see if it's going to work out for him.
Essentially a Hail Mary play now coming online. Teleport getting used by number 2 Ginger. Baron, keep your eyes on that health bar as they try to collapse in. They're going to be able to find the stun onto Schneider. Schneider is going to be targeted, but they can't quite get over to them. Number 2 Ginger will fall. Hawks will fall. Onslaught of Shadows is getting used, and Schneider is still alive. And now Barco Duck can just continue to get the damage in. Barco Duck getting a double kill, captures the last member of Virtue Gaming Ambition alive. And after a bloody 32-minute brawl, it ends up resulting in a ace and a win for Return of the Middlesticks. Man, what a series. After the heartbreak of game number 2, Virtue Gaming Ambition brings it back. They claw out of it tooth and nail, but they can't quite finish the job.
Yeah, that last fight really exemplified what you were talking about earlier with Barco Duck being the carry that you had to focus on. The Gnar stun goes down onto Schneider and they're able to pick up the kill, but then Barco Duck just goes over the wall, gets onto the back line, picks up 2 kills really quick, and then there's no way left to win the fight for Virtue Gaming Ambition. A good finish up to the series. That was the best game I think that we were seeing, but unfortunately a 3-0 for Return of the Middlesticks means that Virtue Gaming Ambition season is done as far as Runeterra Academy goes, but hopefully we'll be seeing more from them in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty rough way to go, I would say, in terms of your season coming into the playoffs as 3rd seed. You definitely know that you've got your work cut out for you, right? Like, it's going to be tough to be able to move forward into the remainder of the playoffs, but making it into the postseason is still an accomplishment in it of itself. Unfortunately, though, they won't be able to get any further along in the split. The postseason is now done for Virtue Gaming Ambition as they are falling short to Return of the Middlesticks. Ends up being a 3-0 victory for them. I wouldn't say that it was expected to be a 3-0. Like, when I came into this, I was expecting that we were going to see at least a game 4 or maybe even a game 5. But you have to look back at game number 2, and you have to look back at just how quickly the game collapsed for them, for Virtue Gaming Ambition at that, 15, 18 minute mark, and just causing just such pain in the, I don't know, the mental. I don't know if it was just, they were just not feeling it anymore, but it definitely just was a big deflating moment to be so far in the lead in game number 2 that maybe that affected them in game number 3. It definitely didn't feel like it, though. It definitely felt like they really were focusing in on trying to be able to get the win. It looked so bad for them at the very beginning of the game, and to be able to make it as close as it was, falling short by just a couple of missed macro plays, was definitely a fun sight to see.
Yeah, and a lot of credit goes to Return of the Middlesticks in this series. They played it out pretty well. Once they were able to secure advantages, they didn't let go of them easily, and they were pretty good at punishing mistakes. So just a few mistakes in game number 2 and game number 3 were what cost the game for Virtue Gaming Ambition. So great punishes coming out there by Return of the Middlesticks and a well-played series. They definitely will deserve to be in the semifinals here, and we'll see if they are able to continue on further. I think that there's a lot to take away from this series, a lot of positives to take away for Virtue Gaming Ambition, but you can't always come out on top.
No, not always. And unfortunately, that is one of those opportunities. And like we've been saying, unfortunately, Virtue Gaming Ambition's run in the Runeterra Academy Senior Year Season 3 is now officially over. It definitely still was a great run, great performance. I was able to cast several of the Virtue Gaming Ambition games here in Runeterra Academy throughout the split. And it was definitely a ton of fun and a huge honor to be continuously asked back throughout this split. But with that being said, their season is over. It's now on to the next one for these players, and I hope that they're able to just continue to keep their head up high and find value in this split and the opportunity that you're able to make it happen. But before we go, any final words, Tiger?
Well, I've enjoyed being a part of this series. I think that the games were interesting and they kept me on the edge of my seat, especially games 2 and 3 there were pretty close at points. And I think that it was a good opportunity to cast with you, and Virtue Gaming, hopefully it will be someone that I talk to again in the future about getting some casts in. And I was very appreciative of your knowledge of the players on Virtue Gaming Ambition. So I appreciate everyone who's participated in this match and been a part of Virtue Gaming. So hopefully I'll see you guys again in the future.
Exactly. And with that being said, yeah, thank you so much as well, Tiger. It was a blast to be able to cast with you and to be able to cast on the Virtue Gaming channel. As always, if you guys have not done so already, please follow their Twitter or their Twitch channel, as well as their Twitter, and join their Discord if you want to have any information on future and upcoming tournaments and games and teams that they have moving forward. It definitely is very appreciated for them. Of course, follow their Twitter if you want to know their schedule of when and where they are playing next. Shout out to our producer Benjamins, who in 12.5 is definitely somewhat of a superstar. It has been a rough spectating patch, and I continue to call and appreciate what our spectators and our producers have been able to do here in 12.5. So thanks so much, Benjamins. Thank you so much to the Virtue Gaming staff and community for being such a welcoming and phenomenal environment to cast for. With that also being said, if you guys do enjoy the content that myself or Tiger are going for, please feel free to follow us on Twitter. I am at Moosecaster. You can follow Tiger at
Tiger58040.
Perfect. And with that being said, on behalf of all of the players on Virtue Gaming Ambition, the coordinators and the staff at Virtue Gaming, Tiger, Benjamins, and myself, this has been your coverage of the Runeterra Academy Senior Year Quarterfinals matchup, a 3-0 victory for return of the Middlesticks against Virtue Gaming Ambition. And with that being said, have a great night, everyone. Stay safe and take care.